Earlier this year, Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen introduced a piece of legislation called Make Polluters Pay. Now, that piece of legislation is still kicking around out there, and it's something that desperately needs to be passed. And according to a new poll, a majority of people in this country actually agree with this legislation. What the legislation would do is it would create a fund of about $500 billion. All of that money would come from the fossil fuel industry to pay for the damage they have caused to the climate. It would be used to tackle climate change abatement. It would be used to help green the U.S. economy. It would basically try to undo the damage to a degree. Obviously, $500 billion is not enough to do all of it, but it would make these people pay because they're the ones who are responsible for the majority of emissions. So it's a pretty smart piece of legislation. And the new poll shows majority of voters in the United States support it. 77% of likely voters say fossil fuel companies should take a lot or some responsibility in addressing the climate crisis. 65% support the idea of the fund. And here's where it gets a little iffy here. When you break it down by party affiliation, 83% of Democrats support the legislation. There is a 40-point gap, and that's not even a gap, that is a gulf between Democrats and Republicans because only 43% of Republicans think we should do it. But I think using the word only there is bad. 43% of Republicans, almost half, support this idea. So you have more than 80% of Democrats who want it, nearly half of Republicans who want it. When you put them all together, you've got 65% of the country saying, yes, do this thing. And that to me is the part we need to focus on. Because I don't think only 43% of Republicans, supporting this is a good talking point. I think the fact that we have Republicans serving in D.C. that are so adamantly against any form of, climate action, to be honest, but 43% of their voters are out there saying, no, make these guys pay. And I think part of the reason we're seeing this has to do with the fact that we're also seeing climate change right now. All year long, we have watched one extreme weather event to another, to another, to another, to another. Snowstorms in Texas knocking out the power grid. Heat domes over the western United States. Wildfires, floods, droughts, other extreme weather events. Seawall erosion, sea level rise. We are living through the effects of climate change right now, and it's getting harder for more and more voters out there to say that we shouldn't do something about this. The only holdup really is D.C., is the House and the Senate. A lot of it is coming from Republicans. Most of it is coming from Republicans, but not all of it is. We still have a couple Democrats out there who value their fossil fuel money more than they value the lives of their own constituents. And therein lies the problem, not just with the Democrats, but clearly with the Republicans as well. As long as fossil fuel money is allowed to dominate politics, we're going to be stuck dragging our feet. We're going to be stuck with inaction. And that is why I want every single person running for office to truly look into your opponent and where their finances are coming from. If they're taking money from the fossil fuel industry, you need to call them out in ads and juxtapose that with the extreme weather events that we have seen just so far in 2021. Go ahead. It's okay. We can do this. It's okay to point out to a country that wants action that your opponent is taking all this money. It's okay to do that. And in fact, climate kind of depends on you doing that. Call them out so we can vote them out so we can finally move forward. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.